Got one. There we go. Yeah, they wanted a trick worm. That's what it was. Woohoo! There you go, Winnie. Oh, she loves licking them. What's up, guys? Winnie had a request. She wanted a floor in the John boat. So, let's get to the cheapest possible John boat floor that we could come up with. First thing you're going to start with is a pile of these 2x2 sticks. They're $1.77 at my Lowe's right now. They're not actually 2 inches. They're like 1.5 inches, but they're already cut to 36 in length and angled, so they're going to fit in all of your 1436 and 1236 boats, and you can just throw them right in the bottom just like that. From there, we're going to go ahead and fill up the bottom. We got 15 sticks at $2, so they're only $30 sitting here so far. Then we're going to get our plywood. This is a 7/16 sheeting, which is about $20 right now at Lowe's. It's not normally flooring, which is why we're going to do a short gap in between our 2x2s. So you can see they're all laying pretty close. I'm going to lay those only 8 inches apart from each other. So I already cut a rough length and width, just a quick tape measure, you know, just roughly length and width on the inside of the boat. You can even get to these numbers ahead of time and have the hardware store pre-cut your wood for you so you can minimize your tools. They're not going to notch out the sides like I'm doing right now, but you could measure inside of that and make it a little skinnier, but you might have stuff fall on the side, so you want it all the way if you can. So we notched out the sides, we got it laying on top. Like I said, we're going to do an 8-inch gap on our joists so it has a little bit more support, since this isn't necessarily flooring. This is more something you would use for walls, but that's going to help us keep lighter weight wood, since it's not designed for flooring. It cuts out some weight, which will help for trailering and just boating in general. It's good to have this weight down on the bottom because it's really going to ballast out the boat and really have that lower weight, which will help make it a little bit more stable, but we don't want to overweight the boat and make it either, you know, sink or untrailerable. This next part here, you can kind of choose how you want to do it. I did it differently on the back board from the front board, but basically need to make some kind of marks on where you're going to be putting your 2x2s, where they're actually mounting, so they're not sitting on any of the other ribs or any of the other cutout benches or anything like that. So I lifted it up a little bit and looked where they were at and went ahead and just marked them with a pencil. Here I realized I had a rocking spot, so check for any bends in your boat. If you got any bends, it's going to make this a problem. Also check if your sticks are straight, because I had a bent stick. So we'll just cut it down. I think I still used 15. You're still going to want to try to have 15 if you can. I think they sell them in packs of 16, so that's super easy. But just roughly gapping them out, roughly 8 inches. I'm not over here measuring. You can just use your pinky to thumb. Somewhere in that department is going to give you like 8 inches to 9 inches, and that should help you spread. Anywhere from like 7 to 10 inches is probably fair. You might feel a little flex on like a 10-inch gap, but got that back one cut out the way we liked it. We're going to go ahead and start working on this front piece. You can see I'm checking the gaps there with my hand, just trying to get them roughly the right department. I decided to run the board past the last ribs and run it up all the way into the front of the boat here where you see me measuring. That was just that's somewhere we keep a piece of Tupperware where we store our life vests and stuff like that. I thought it would just be nicer for it to be up on the floor rather than back down on the metal John boat. So when you're measuring the front, make sure you realize that it toes in a little bit and gets a little bit skinnier. Mine's technically a 1436, but mine's actually like 38.5 where I'm measuring. And then up by the front, it drops down to like 35 or something like that. Just, you know, where my board ends. You're not going to match that exactly. You're going to have to kind of figure out exactly the shape of your boat. You can use a piece of cardboard to do a traced out piece. If you want to go ahead and set it in there, trace it, you know, cut it out with a razor blade and scissors, and then just match that with cardboard. That can be a pretty easy way to do it. I was just trying to do this. I had like an hour, not even. I had 45 minutes before I had to be somewhere, and I was trying to get this done. So we made it work. I am not a carpenter by trade, but quick fun fact, always remember to move your saw before you cut, or move your saw horse before you cut, and learn how to adjust a circular saw. When you're cutting something with a circular saw, you don't want a bunch of blades sticking through. You want enough blade to cut the material, and then a little bit more, not the whole blade sticking out of the bottom. That's actually a problem. back to notching them out. I just eyeballed these ones real quick, and then I went ahead and eyeballed that angle cut. If you do any kind of cutting, oscillating saw, whatever saw you're using, if you are cutting in the boat, make sure you are familiar with the tool and paying attention. This thing will cut through a John boat instantly, and then you'll be looking at my how to fill a crack, how to fill a leak video. You don't want to do that. Time for screws. I would go with an 1.25 inch, something weatherproof, whether you use construction screws, exterior building screws, whatever you're familiar with. But an 1.25 inch is probably the right department to not risk running into the boat if you're putting them in like this. An 1 5/8 that I was using was a close call between a 7/16 and the little piece of wood that we have. When they were sinking down, they almost poked through the bottom, and I could have damaged the John boat. So you should really do this part outside of the boat. I just went ahead and ran a line of screws along one side so the sticks would hold in place. And now I'm going to straighten them out and put the screws in on the rest of them and straighten them out. So I just threw it here on the ground, went ahead and screwed the rest of them in, and then threw it back in the boat. You guys are going to get to watch me get a splinter in live action that I found later this night, you know. Get it into place here. You got to give it a couple smacks. Make sure it's not going anywhere. Bam! Ah! Something hurt there. Found that in my hand later. That was nice. You can see here the other way I did it. I marked the bottom on this one because it was super easy to just give a rough estimate. Just throw a pen mark on where it's got to go from the bottom, and that's good enough. If you want to waterproof this, you can. You can get some wood sealer and seal the whole thing and help it out. But I personally am just going to remove it whenever it's raining. I can put it under cover. So that's going to be a personal preference on what you need to do with waterproofing or keeping it dry from the weather. You're not in my way at all. I'm sorry. She might get a little nervous around you guys, but she's trying to be friendly.
She's so cute.
She's like, they can't see me if I'm really smooth. Alright guys, we're out here on Carter's today. Technically just doing a little test run on our new budget floor. So, we're just gonna throw some random lures. I got an underspin here. Stripers have been coming up real shallow in this lake right now. Caught a hybrid in this cove before, and it would just be awesome to hook up to a big one right now. But we're just testing the floor, making sure we didn't cause any leaks with our work, and we're gonna let Winnie enjoy the day today. She is our oldest pup. She's like 8 years old this year, I think. She was in a pretty rough situation when we got her, but from the moment we pulled away, she knew that we were there to help. So she's always been good to us. You going up there? If you fall in, I don't think you're gonna love it. It's a free roll. I'll go up here. Oh, got my blade caught. Got my blade caught. Yeah, that's why I don't like these underspins. I get a little bit of this stuff, but there's just something about a little extra flash when you got a little dingy water. It just right. And she does have water. I know y'all hear her panting like she's never seen water before, but she's got water. The bowl is, oh there, water in it. Water nearby. It's not warm. It's not actually hot outside today. I'm gonna toss a jig since the wind's letting us chill next to these rocks. Ooh, I remembered, or I forgot, that I had to do a maintenance cast on my bait caster, on my jig rod. I knew that, because I just had a problem. Whenever you're fixing your line, try to do it in the water. It's a much better chance of it staying untangled when you do it in the water. Feels like a jig's still on there. Let's see if my trailer still has its claws. Sometimes those get yanked off. Nope, we're cruising. We are cruising along. Okay. Looks like we're dry under our deck here, and it feels pretty good. You know, it's just a lot easier to walk around. People are looking at me. I know they're looking at me like I'm crazy, but we just took this little rug that we had laying around and put it on top of it because I don't want to just stand on the wood directly. So you can get a rug, you can get a mat, you can go buy some marine carpet for, you know, a little bit more on the project. But if you just want to get a flat deck out there so you're not beating up your rivets and you've got a little bit of room over top of the water, if you do have a little bit of leaks, I would go do a quick repair if I were you, because I mean you can repair a leaking rivet for 20 bucks. So it's kind of middle of the day, it's warming up, so dragging a jig pretty low might not be a bad call. If I try to get up on the front here, I think Winnie's gonna try to take me out. Try to throw it off the bank a little bit. Pretty good visibility on this lake right now. I think I should be fishing some of these trees, actually. Oh, but the coat. Forgot Winnie up on the bow, guys. My bad, mama. Come on. My claws just about went through the freaking aluminum hole. Sorry, mama. Black trick worm. Get that black and red trick worm down to the same fish we were just probably dragging our jig around by. See if that's a little bit more enticing. A little more enticing. How's Winnie doing? Need more water yet, Winnie? Nah, you got a little bit there. Ooh, but I don't want the bottle in the sun. Behind the tackle bag. Keep that water cool for you, mama. She just wants a stick really bad. Usually we find floating sticks. Or she sees turtles and thinks they're sticks. Kick it up a little bit here. Got one. There we go. Yeah, they wanted a trick worm. That's what it was. There's that little guy. Woohoo! There you go, Winnie. She loves licking them. Alright, little spotted bass. As soon as we threw that trick worm at him, just threw up on me. I don't appreciate that. That's the lure. You don't want the lure, you want the fish, mama. Oh! We're gonna let him go real quick. Just a little guy, but we're glad we're catching something out here. Trick worm is on him. You really want him, don't you? Oh, you want trying to eat him? Just give me more of that fish, Dad. Give me more of that fish. That's my good luck charm right there. Trick worm. That might have been the first cast. Was that the first cast, guys? Winnie's so excited. She's like, oh, I can't believe there's fish here. Yeah. There's a little something dead up there on the shore. That's just got me curious as heck. What is that? Baby cat. There's a little catfish dead right there. I don't really want to touch a dead little slimy catfish at the moment. Oh, reliable. Little tiny Kitech swim bait. Try to get it next to that next tree there. Let it fall down a little bit and then slow roll it back. Basically the same area we were targeting with the trick worm, but just try to hit them with a little small moving bait and see if that's a little bit easier for them to want to go after. Oh. Oh. We're getting nibbled on, but no, they're not getting it. How are you gonna short strike something that's 2.8 inches long? Let's see if my Kitech got messed up here. It feels heavy. Nah, it looks okay, but we got nibbled up, so we're gonna throw that one again. Anything could be eaten. There's bluegill, crappie, small bass, big bass, so you're getting a lot of little nibbles, it's usually a bluegill or a crappie bite. We're in a fish's mouth already? This is getting so confusing, guys. What's going on out there? There's something like eating it. Nobody's getting hooked. What in the world was that? I could tell it stopped sinking. There we go. They were in the trees. Oh! What is going on with these hooks? Pulled my pants down, you unglued my Kitech, you didn't even come into the boat. Oh, I got a fish. Little guy right off that tree. It's so small I could barely even tell it was a fish. What do we got? Oh, a tiny spot. Oh, that must be what we're dealing with. Spine me good. I got the dog going after the lure, not the fish. I know, mama. All right, guys, with that little one, we're gonna call it. He spined me in the hand. I've been out here long enough. I think it's been like 2 hours, but at least we like the new floor. It is nice and cheap, so go to the store, buy a couple pieces of wood. You can even have them cut it. Throw a little flat bottom in your John boat. Throw a little flat bottom in your flat bottom John boat, kind of a thing, but Winnie enjoyed her day today. I think that was the most important part. I love having Winnie out here on the boat, and I appreciate you guys for hanging along and sticking it out for a couple of dinks. But we'll see you guys on the next adventure.